Okay, I've been making some pretty good progress on this RC boat here, so I wanted to make a quick little video explain this motor setup and actually run them for a minute. First of all, the build is going to be about a 1/40th or 1/39th scale, a World War I destroyer, Wicks class, specifically the USS Ward. My last name happens to be Ward, so it'll get interest in me and to build this particular one. It's not going to be a highly detailed model. It's going to be a basic model. I've been doing some of the fiberglassing. I've got a lot of pretty much all the fiberglassing on the bow section. I've split it up into 3 different sections, and then I'm going to put the 3 sections together after I've got the major fiberglass done. I'll probably do a video on that as well, but I wanted to do something really quickly on this since I've got it all together and actually working. The first speed control I got really wasn't what I needed. I thought it would be enough, but I would be very close to the maximum amperage draw with my motors. The first set of motors I got, they would have worked fine with this new controller too, but they definitely would have been way too much draw for that first speed controller, so I got this new one. The first speed controller was called they're both made by Dimensions Engineering. The first one was Sabertooth, and it was like 16 amps continuous draw, something like that. It was either 14 or 16 amps, and I would have been pretty close to that. And that's total draw with both motors. I'm using 2 motors, so I have to double the amperage to get both motors draw. So I decided that after talking with the engineer at Dimensions, she and I both decided that I needed this other speed control that could handle 25 amps, which I will be nowhere near that. With these 2 motors I have here, these are the smaller of the 4 motors I got. I got 4 motors, 2 pairs. The 2 pairs are identical. These 2 are the smaller ones. They're like I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 amps maybe, maximum draw, somewhere in that area. They were originally designed for use in a powered scooter, like those little powered skateboards you see. That is what they came out of. But the other 2 motors I got were from the automotive industry. They were blower motors for like heating and air conditioning inside your car or truck, and they're actually a lot more power. These are 3,800 RPM maximum, I believe, and those other ones, the bigger ones, and they are bigger. They would have just barely fit in this boat. That's why I decided to use these smaller ones. But them other ones, I'll get one in a minute and show it to you, but they were 4,000 RPMs and about 8 amps draw each, so I would have been right at the limit with that other speed control, which is the reason why I decided to send it back and get this other one that is higher. Okay, I'm going to change the camera position a little bit so you can see a little bit more. Okay, I've changed the camera position a little bit here so you can get a better view of the setup. I've got everything set up on this. This is the actual rig that I'm going to be putting in the boat. This will be the midsection of the boat. The bow will go here. The stern will go aft over there. I've got the 2 motors here. I got a speed controller here. I got a receiver. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not, but that's a little receiver. And here's my transmitter radio. And I got a battery here, of course. And I've also put together a little switch, a little on-off switch, so I can control power to the battery. And I'll go ahead and hook that up. And this is just the main battery. This is the main battery in my okay. This is the main battery that's going to be in the model. I got another bank of smaller batteries that I got series and parallel together to get some more power. This battery is about 7.5 amp hours, and the other set is another 3 or 4 amp hours. If you put them all together, I should get an hour's worth of run time off of this model with these motors and the servo, of course, for the rudder, which isn't hooked up yet. But I'll go ahead and I had a problem when I first hooked this up, and I had to talk to the people at Dimensions Engineering, and she said, you know, turn the radio on first before you turn power on to the speed control. So I've turned the radio on, and she said, you know, give it 10 seconds to get set up. I have got it set up, and when I turn this switch on, hopefully I won't have any problems and I'll be able to control it. So, okay, there we go. We got a little blue light on the Sires 25, which is the speed control that I got, and that means I got power here, and I got power to my receiver. The receiver light is lit. Can't see that right now, but I'm going to go ahead and give her some juice, and the propellers will move. I think you can see them, but they are working. That's forward. They're kind of vibrating a lot now because I've still got some more mounting to do to them. This is just a rig that I set up just to make sure everything would work. And I've been having a little problem with the couplers. I'll get the camera down in a second and show a close-up view of everything. But the couplers that hook the motors up to the propeller shafts coming loose because I don't have Loctite on them. I need to put some Loctite on them so they stay tight. Hopefully that's going to solve that little problem. And I also don't have the guides in on both sides of the PVC pipe, which the shafts run through, so it's kind of bouncing a little bit. Get a little bit closer here. There is the receiver and the speed control, 25 amp speed control, and there's the switch that I made, the battery and the radio. Just a little cheap. I think I paid like 20 bucks for the radio, really cheap. This is my first RC build, so I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to spend anyway, so eventually this will be the thing to upgrade first, because everything else I got is pretty good. This speed control it's not high end, but it's pretty darn good. It was like a $80 speed control, so it was probably the most expensive thing I put in this boat. As far as electronics go, it's definitely expensive. I think I paid, like I said, about 20 bucks for the radio and the little receiver that came with the radio. That battery right there, my main battery bank, I think I paid like $16 or $17 for that, and the other 4 batteries that I have, the smaller ones, they were like $3 a piece. So, and all this, like this box, all this wiring, everything was stuff that I had laying around, you know. I had to buy one piece of plywood because I didn't have enough of this size of plywood, so I had to buy one piece of plywood. These motors, they are Johnson 790 series. Like I said, they go in little scooters, little skateboards with motors on them. I think I paid $6, $7 each for them, so you know, 14 bucks in there. On this side, you can see them. This is dead center in the ship, so there'll be 4 feet on either side of this one bulkhead of the ship. I'll zoom in close, and you can see those couplers I was talking about that keep coming loose on me. See those see those screws right there, those Allen head screws? They keep coming loose on me when I run the motors because they don't have any Loctite on them. I need to put some Loctite on them. But anyway, the other side is, you know, the end of the motor shaft, and you know, this shaft goes through these PVC pipes and then out the back here to the propellers. And there's the 2 propellers. Them propellers they're really nice. I really paid quite a bit for them. I think I paid like $40 for these two propellers, but they're really nice. They're made of brass. I got them at Bonsai Sports. I still have a lot of work to do to make this look a little bit better. It's kind of I just made this rig to see if this would work or not. Okay, here's the other motor. As you can see, it's really big. It's got this big flange on it, and this flange is actually made into as part of this cover part. So I couldn't take the flange off. I did a little bit of machining here on the flange, and I could have got these in there. I really could have. They would have been really close. As you can see, they're a lot bigger, and they're a lot heavier than these other motors too. They're a lot heavier. But I didn't think. I thought that this motor was a little bit overkill. When I ordered it, I said this motor is really too much for what I need. But you know, I found them. I actually found them on a surplus site. You know, and they were only $15 a piece. You know, so I did get these other ones at about half that price, but I didn't know these were available. And I said, well, let me get these anyway. You know, if you buy them new at the auto parts store, you pay like $80, $90 for them. So I got these really cheap, and they're. I will probably put these in the next model I do, which will probably be a lot bigger than this. I know you're thinking, bigger than 8 feet? Yeah. I will put them in that other model because it'll be wider. It'll be a little bit wider than this model. This model is about a foot wide here. This model is about a foot wide here at the midship, from here to here. The next model I'm going to do is probably going to be 4 or 5 inches wider. Maybe not quite that far. Maybe, you know, this far. Maybe 4 inches wider. So there'll be more room for this big motor. It's going to be a bigger model too, so it will probably benefit for more amperage and more RPMs. Like I said, this motor here is 4,000 RPMs, and this motor is like 38, I think, or 36. So it's not a lot of difference in RPMs, but the amperage draw was a lot different. These right here are like 8 amps, or 7.5, 8 amps at maximum draw, and these are only about 5 or 6 at the most. So I had to go with these. I could run this speed controller here. I could run this speed controller with these motors, but the first one I'd ordered, the Sabertooth, I don't think would have worked it probably would have blown up the speed controller, because these motors would have been, you know, close to 20 amps with both of them together. It would have been very close to 20 amps, probably about 16.5 amps, maybe even 18. So that would have been over the limit for the Sabertooth. I'll be doing some more videos on this model as it progresses. I've put about, I've been working pretty steady on it. I would say probably about a month and a half I've been working on this. But the first probably 2 or 3 weeks, I would say, went on the mock-up that I built, because I built a mock-up first, which is a totally different. Nothing like this. It was the same design, but it was a completely different model. I learned a lot from that, just from how you have to do things, and it would be really nice if anybody wants to try and do something like this. It's really not easy, especially the fiberglassing. That's where the hardest problem is for me. I'll get it done, but it's not going to be beautiful. It's not going to be beautiful, but it's a low-cost model, low-end model. It's not meant to be super detailed or anything like that. And if someone really wanted to do this and they had more money than I had to put into it, and they're good with power tools, they're good with they have a little bit of electronic experience, or at least some knowledge of it, and woodworking, a little bit of metal shop experience maybe, because I've got all of those. I've worked in metal shops, I've worked in wood shops, I've worked in auto shops, I've done a lot of stuff like that. So the concept is not impossible for me to understand, and I understand how it all works. My shop is kind of limited here that I have to work with. But if someone wanted to do this, I would advise them, if they were going to go with a fiberglass hull, which is the way you should go with something this size, you really need a full wood form. I've been using these slats and some cardboard, some stiff cardboard, and it works. It works okay, but it's not as, the finish isn't as good. Now, I would also say I'm doing like two to three layers of fiberglass all the way around. There's a little bit more on the front, so because in case I run into something, doesn't, this extra strength. In the bottom, we'll have a little bit extra. It's probably going to be closer to 3 layers. The front will probably be 4 or 5 layers, but it would be optimal to have probably 5 layers on the whole thing. It would be really sturdy, and it would be able to take some punishment. Not that 2 layers won't work, because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have any major problems with the 2 layers that I'm putting on, 2 to 3 layers. But it would definitely be advantageous to go with 5 layers or even 6 layers, so it's nice and thick, nice and sturdy, and you don't have any problems. But I will keep working on this and make a couple more videos and add pictures as I can, post them to my YouTube and to the forum group that I've been kind of hanging with a little bit, rcforums.com, and that's it.